Hello everyone, welcome back to Lab4crypto. The market are a bit crazy, of course, because we have the news about the US strategic reserve with a basket of crypto assets. We have the tariffs, which now made the market feel a bit uncertain about the future of the inflation and what the Fed are going to do. It's something that I explain in my article, which I will briefly show you now. And now the market is, and the price of Bitcoin is at 89.2K, which 3 days ago it was at 80K. The reason that I'm making this video, because I want it to be very short, for people that they have read my recent article, which was written 5 days ago, basically I explain why I think the tariffs are happening. And at the end, if you read here, I said basically what I was doing with my own capital. Of course, was not financial advice, but basically I have accumulated at 80K. And people were asking me why I was not panic like the most of the, let's say, influencers that you follow, which they said that Bitcoin was going to go to 60K, 74K, even 50K, and so on. And the reason is that I don't try to catch the exact bottom of something, but I prefer to DCA. And when I have the risk of Bitcoin below 50%, every time that I see this kind of dips, I prefer to accumulate. And the reason behind it, actually, it's very simple. It's one equation that I created, which I also created the risk levels of all of these coins, which you can watch the video and the explanation below. But it's one equation that I think it will help everyone understand where this market is going and why I feel so confident sometimes to not panic when things are not going very well because of market manipulation. And when I'm saying manipulation, that can be either intentionally or unintentionally. Because, for example, when you have the US president saying something about tariffs, definitely it's going to affect the markets, right? Moving on, this equation, when I created it, I wanted to check if the total crypto market cap is following a power law growth like Bitcoin. And I wanted to check that because we know that Bitcoin is following a power law for the last 15 years. And I wanted to check if actually the creation of all these altcoins is damaging for the crypto market as a whole or not. So if, for example, the slope of this equation was smaller than that of Bitcoin, that means probably it's damaging the market. And if it's higher, that means it's better. In short, for now, it seems that altcoins as a whole is a net positive for the market. But what I wanted to check is, as I said, the growth rate of this market. And what I found out is that this market has amazing potential. And that is why you see me many times that I'm saying this market is going to values of more than 10 trillion by the end of the year. It's because when, let's say, if we're going to the interactive plot of this graph, which you can find it in the platform, what you will see is that, let's zoom out. Let's remove some lines so it'll be easier to follow. So this red line basically is the growth of the sector. And if we zoom, when the blue line, the actual value of the crypto market cap is below the red line, that means we are undervalued. And of course, we know about the seasonality of the crypto market or Bitcoin with the 4-year cycles, that we tend to follow a power law. And when we enter a bull run, we follow an exponential growth. And when we enter bear markets, we follow an exponential decay. So the same thing happens with the total crypto market. And if you see in more depth you will find out that we actually have a bit shift for altcoins to reach their top compared to Bitcoin. And using this deviation model, which I'm going to show you in a bit, you can actually help you decide when it's a good time to exit the market when the altcoin season occurs. But in short, when we tend to move above the fair value of the total crypto market cap, which is the red line, it's the start of an altcoin season because Bitcoin is moving to higher values and then it's dragging altcoins with it. And that is why we have this 3 to 5, 6 months period where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. And everybody's waiting for that period. Now I know a lot of people saying that this time we're not going to have an altcoin season. But I definitely believe we're going to have, but not when people want it, but when the liquidity is met to sustain an altcoin season. Now, coming to why I decided to accumulate at 80K, as I said, when the risk was below 50 for me was a really good value. And because we were really close to the fair value of Bitcoin, and therefore, and also close to just below the bull market support band, which I thought that bulls are going to try to hold it. And that is why, as I said on the article, you will find out exactly why I said that that was a good choice to allocate some of your capital. Of course, it's not a financial advice, but I follow some macroeconomic factors as well. So now if someone asks you why you are in this market, what benefit you have from this market, which is speculation, and some others saying that this is an innovation, is the future, and so on. From maths perspective, as you see, the total crypto market cap is up into the right, so it's growing. It has volatility, but it continues to go up. And the equation that describes it, you can find it here, but also in the post that I shared. So now, if we want to see if we enter a region where it's the top of the market, because in the end, you will want to exit the market when you feel that the top is in. And we only had the total crypto market touching its fair value in December 2024. So it was going to be the start of an altcoin season. And if we go to the altcoin season index, for example, if we zoom here, you will find out that at the same period when we touch the fair value and we are going to go to higher values, the altcoin season index was flipped to an altcoin season for 6 days. Because as I said, we have moved to the fair value. Let's go to the interactive plot. So we basically moved to, see, this is the December exactly here. So we touched the fair value and we were rejected. Bitcoin was also rejected. And that is why we saw that we have entered a Bitcoin season because people wanted to de-risk. So now we are at the deviation that we have from the fair value is minus almost 50%. So definitely in my books, I found that the total crypto market, of course, is undervalued, but because now we are in Bitcoin season, we are being focused on Bitcoin until we have an indication that altcoin season is in. Then, of course, if you want to increase your risk appetite, you can rotate your BTC to altcoins, a part of it, not all of it, of course. Because if you have done this for the past 2 cycles, you have done an amazing work. And there's nothing into the data to show that this time will be different. And actually, we see time and time again that there is this cyclicality because Bitcoin cycles seems to align with business cycles and economic cycles. We're going to have the end of the QT in the mid of 2025, as Fed said on their report. Of course, I believe that maybe we're going to start a bit earlier, as seems Trump wants to lower interest rates. And as the US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said, they want to bring interest rates down. So if we check the table, you will find out that 3 days ago, the next rate cut was projected to be in September, October, and now it's already shifted to June. And also, this value is keep increasing. For example, a day ago was 28.1 for a rate cut in May, and now is 38.7. So it's keep increasing, and therefore the pressure that seems the president is putting to Fed seems it's working, and the markets are projecting to have the next interest rate cut sooner than later. So when you feel that, when you panicked about the crypto market, it's good to have a vision. It's good to know where you're going. And for me, using the data that I have in front of me, as I said, if I mouse over, let's say, to December, this market can go to 11 trillion. And we only touched the fair value and we are rejected. So I will expect the market to go to these values. And as I said, when we see the blue line going above the red, which is the fair value, I start to expect some altcoins to outperform Bitcoin. Of course, there are millions of coins and not all of them are going to do that. And this is the point that you need to get serious with your allocation and find these altcoins and increase your risk tolerance if you want. This is what I'm going to do, at least. This is what I'm doing for the past 2 cycles, and it was a very good choice. For example, on the last cycle, when the risk of Bitcoin was really high, when the price was 58, I exited the market and moved to altcoins. And when Bitcoin dropped to 30K, I again entered the market and exited when on October 2021, when the risk was almost 80%. And this is what I'm doing, basically using the risk metric and other metrics as well. My point is that, as you will see, we are in an altcoin season. So you will see that the red line, it's below the green one, which means that we are in a Bitcoin season. That means that Bitcoin, it's a better choice for you now. Do not try to time the market and say now altcoins are going to start. There is no point, in my opinion, to put yourself in an excessive risk. Just wait for confirmation and move on. So I'm using regularly this equation. I know that a lot of people are telling me there's no chance that we're going to 11 trillion, but I stand by my equation, and we are here, and we'll come back in a couple of months, not couples, at the end of the year, and see if that it's true. And if the top of the market is going to be at either December or January, with values close to, as I said, 10 trillion. The reason that I'm checking the green line, you will see that every time, if I go, you will see that every time the total crypto market cap, it penetrates the 2 standard deviation, but with a lower height, let's say, lower amplitude. So for example, we just went above the 2 standard deviation line the last cycle. So even if you do your calculation and this time we only touch the green line, as I said, that means depending at when date you are watching to be the top, because this is an equation which monotonically increases. That means if, for example, you have an amazing news and the top is going to be in summer, the maximum of the total crypto market cap is 9.6 trillion. And as we move deeper into the year, or even January, that value is going to be increased. So that is why I'm not stressed when we have these dips. Actually think that they are gifts from the market if you know what you're doing. And I just wanted to show you this equation so it will help you to not panic. Just have a vision where this market is going. When somebody asks you why you are in this market, you can show them mathematically why you are in this market. And this equation worked for the last 15 years, so I don't find why it will not work for one more, for example. So be patient, have a plan. And if you like the content of the video, please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment, as that helps the channel a lot. And until next time, bye-bye.